Hey, Randy Hunter here from BeginningSax.com. In this quick licks and tips video, I'd like to show you a method for gaining independence, root independence with these arpeggios for these chord changes to tunes. This method, I'll call it, in this video, we'll call it circling the arpeggios. Now I have a complete video lesson on this entitled The Arpeggio Circle that's part of my Stage 3 lesson series, so if you dig this approach you might want to check out that lesson, and it shows you how to take this approach through the chord changes to tunes. But what I'd like to do is just let's take a G minor 7 arpeggio, and I chose G minor 7 because it's right in the middle of the instrument, so whether you're playing alto or tenor it doesn't matter. G minor 7, G, B flat, D, F, that's 1, 3, 5, 7, and we'll actually go to the 9, so we could call this G minor 9. So I'm just going to play that G minor 9 arpeggio. Now that's great. I'm sure that you'll be able to do that with no trouble, but a lot of times people get really centered in on the roots to these changes and have to think of the root in order to get to the other tone. Like a lot of times I know folks have to think of the root before they can find the third. So they're and remember, we're identifying these tones. The G is 1, the B flat is 3, the D is 5, the F is 7, and the A is the 9. So if you find yourself always having to think of the root to the chord changes before you improvise on a particular chord, then you're really kind of stuck in a root biased sort of approach to playing, and that limits your ability to connect the arpeggios to tunes and also to start in different places on these arpeggio tones, these chord tones. So this approach will hopefully help you break through those boundaries. So again, we're going to begin with the roots. So I like doing each increment of this exercise 3 times, and of course you should probably do it with a metronome. The metronome is great stabilizing factor and helps you build the time too. We won't do it with the metronome in this video, but on your own practice, I'd suggest putting it on the metronome. So I'm going to play the arpeggio 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, 3 times. I like doing 3 times. My mother taught me when I was a kid, it's an interesting story. My mother taught me to play the saxophone, but she taught me when I was a kid, if you can do something 3 times in a row perfectly, chances are you know it pretty well. And I find that to be pretty true. Okay, so pretty good. I've got that one down by the root. Now I'm going to advance to the third. If we think of these tones as a big circle, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, and we're circling, doesn't matter where we start in that circle, we can circle around and still have a complete circle. So I'm going to start on the 3. This time I'll play 3, 5, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1, back to 3. So we'll make a complete circle from the third. Now I'm going to do that 3 times. Now I'll advance to the 5. So we'll start our circle from the 5. So 5, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5. Complete circle, so I'm going to do that circle 3 times. Same thing from the 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, etc. Complete circle from the 7, so now I'll do it 3 times. Okay, now I'll move on to the 9, so I'm at the very top. Now really it's not really a top because it's a circle, but I'm at the top of the arpeggio, but I'm still going to circle from the 9, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I can't say it. I can play it, but I can't say it. So I'll start on the 9. And again 3 times. Okay, so at this point you might be tempted to say, okay, I've got it, but we're only halfway around the circle. So now let's start with a descending series of tones. We've started with ascending root, ascending third, ascending fifth, ascending seven, and we've actually descended from the 9, but now we're going to descend from the 7. So we're going to start working around the second half of that circle. So starting with the 7, descending, I'll play 7, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 7. Okay, and I'll do that 3 times. Same thing from the 5 descending, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, etc. And from the 3rd descending. So, excuse me, I've done every possible variation on this circle going around the root, 3rd, 5, 7, 9 for the G minor 7 chord. And remember, G minor 9 actually. Now you can do this from any chord, major 7 and include the 9, dominant 7, include the 9. You can do it on half diminished chords. Any kind of chord you can do this. You can do it on dominant flat 9 chords. Any of these types of chords, this particular exercise is very beneficial for helping you develop that root independence. So again, you're not stuck with playing all your lines based on roots, and you're not also having to think the root to get to these different chord tones. Now remember, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have a lesson called the Arpeggio Circle as part of my Stage 3 Jazz Improvisation lesson series that really goes in depth into how you can work these arpeggio circles and how you can practice them with tunes in time, so that you're actually practicing the chord changes to tunes using an arpeggio circle method in time and in rhythm to the to the movement of the changes. All right. Have fun with this exercise. It's a great one. It can be long and tedious, but it's a really good exercise. All right.